Hey guys, I've got my good friend Dave Thomas. He's a fellow artist and he works at Disney Studios. You know what? Do you know Walt Disney?
He's dead. Super fun. And we started using the digital storyboarding stuff, which is just fantastic.
That's like when I got the MP3 like in 2005.
Right.
I'm like, what is this
Ooh,
arcane?
the future.
What is this? What am I drawing on glass? I can't do this.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, it's super fun. I do that all the time now.
It's the best.
But drawing on paper now is weird to me.
Right.
I still have a sketchbook I draw on every day.
Yeah.
But I don't do like pencil. I draw pen all the time.
So literally every day you draw on the paper.
Every day I draw on the paper.
People talk about that, but very few people actually do that.
I'll show.
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? It's like going from like a word processor to you're like, where's the undo? You're like, damn.
I know.
But what I like about that is it forces you to concentrate more.
Big time.
And it's I don't know, there's a lot more focus and.
Well, it's made like I could never have done the YouTube videos that I do. Maybe I could have, but like 10, 15 years ago, because like I would have had to really draw everything with markers and paint.
Right.
And it would have taken forever just to do one drawing. And so, but now I can do like 3 or 4 in a day because of the quickness of the digital stuff. I can like oh, quick, just choose red, bucket fill, or just like, paint real quick. It's easier to do the color. Yeah. But real actual painting would take forever to do that. Yeah. And you couldn't videotape it either. So they're in the same way. Right. So you did Wander Over Yonder, 2 seasons. Now you're on these Mickey Mouse shorts, correct? Yeah. Okay, cool.
A guy named Paul Rudish reintroduced the classic.
Paul Rudish very well.
He's the greatest, and
Paul's a great artist too, isn't he?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's depressingly good.
Yeah, I know. Well, like you, I get sad. You're too talented. Like I hate you, but I am in awe of you, and I feel sad. Yes, exactly.
So what is this mix of feelings? Like we were in a meeting, and Paul's one of those guys that like we're getting network notes, right? And Paul's like, he's okay, he's paying attention, but I look over at his pad, and it looks like he's taking notes, but he picks up his pen and he sticks it down on the piece of paper, and then he just starts tracing something, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know what he's doing. And I look over, 5 minutes later, he has drawn a perfectly anatomical horse, which is the hardest thing to draw.
Oh my God.
Not only that, it's rearing up on its legs, and on its back is one of the apes from Planet of the Apes with a machine gun. And it's like the greatest drawing I've seen in my life.
Was it all like one line or something?
One line. Like never took his pen off the paper, and he's not even paying attention. It's like better than anything I've ever drawn in my life. And
see, this is why I get depressed at night. Right there. This is why.
You should, but you haven't accomplished much with your life.
I'm gonna have Paul on here. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Do you have a copy of that drawing? Can we see that somewhere?
It's hanging in the conference room.
Is it really?
The Mickey conference room, because everyone's like, "That's the greatest drawing we've ever seen." He's like, "What? This?" He's very modest, no ego. He's like, "Oh wow, thanks."
I've got 4,000.
Like everyone's like bleeding from their eyes. Like, "Oh, is it possible?"
Not fair.
Yeah.
So wait. So let me see. Okay. So you did that. There's so many things you're working on. I'm going to try and cram these in here. There's a secret Disney project you're working on.
Yes.
You can't say the name of the secret project.
No.
Will we enjoy the secret project?
You are going to love the secret project.
Is it an action-packed secret project?
It is an action-packed.
Ooh. Is it based, you can give me this because no one will know, based in modern day or not modern day?
It is based in the modern day. It's taking a classic Disney character and updating it for today.
Please tell me it's Jiminy Cricket.
It is Jiminy Cricket. I know, I've said too much. Burn the tapes! Burn the tapes! Kill it!
It's Jiminy
Click.
It's Jiminy Click with Jiminy Cricket, Jiminy Glicket. That's what we're calling it. Hey, with Martin Short is the voice.
Hold on a second, I gotta write that down.
And you have a really interesting story here. You were almost arrested for kidnapping Maurice LaMarche.
No, Maurice Noble.
Maurice Noble.
Animation legend.
Maurice
Noble.
Let's get our Maurices straight. Maurice LaMarche does the voice of the brain.
Very talented voice actor.
Right. So you had nothing to do with him.
No.
But Maurice Noble.
That was a different crime, which I'm not at liberty to discuss.
Got it. So tell the audience who Maurice Noble is.
Okay, Maurice Noble was Chuck Jones is that the right way to introduce him? Chuck Jones, the famous Warner Brothers director.
Yes.
Maurice Noble did all of his layouts. So
yeah, exactly. If you watch any classic Bugs Bunny cartoon, you'll see Maurice Noble's name on it.
You'll see that on there. And so there's the one he's famous for is What's Opera Doc. It's been voted like the greatest cartoon ever made.
Yeah. It's like don't look so perplexed. Can't you see your next? Wait, why must you be vexed? Is that the one?
No.
That's the Barber of Seville.
Hilda, you're so lovely.
Oh,
yes, I know it. I can't help
it. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I don't like that one as much.
Oh no.
I like it. I like the Rabbit of Seville.
Ones too.
I like the Rabbit. I know. I like the Rabbit of Seville better.
That's a great one. That's a great one too.
Don't look so perplexed. Can't you see your next? Why must you be vexed?
Yeah.
Yes, you're next. Sorry.
But all the best looking Chuck Jones cartoons were done by Maurice Noble. There were a couple other guys that would rotate in. They're all great. But when you see one, you're like, wow, that's pure eye candy.
So he
That's
did like
Maurice
the more
Noble.
stylish ones, like the
Yes.
Broomhilda ones,
Yes.
like the witch ones.
Yes.
Okay, those are great. Those are. She might not be very pretty now, but she was somebody's baby once.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great.
Right.
And she'd run away, and the bobby pins would fly in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
So, and those were Maurice Noble making fun of UPA. If you look at them, they're like intentionally, bizarrely flat. Like the sofa is painted onto the floor. In
Yeah. No one could possibly sit on it at all.
Yeah. So that was his kind of thumbing his nose at UPA, which would do the really flat graphic
Of course.
stuff. But Maurice had seen that training film that I did, that Puccini film. And so he had seen it and he liked it. He was up in San Francisco. He saw the film and he said, "Hey, how would you like to come down and hang out with me at my house in Los Angeles?" So I'm like, yes. Like he's like a hero of mine.
Dave Thomas was getting the star treatment from this
Jet set,
training
I had
film.
to buy my own ticket. And so,
Okay.
But I'm like, yeah, I'll totally. So I buy a ticket, I fly down, and like I'm totally starstruck because I don't like big Hollywood actors and stuff like that.
Right.
Before I got in animation, I was briefly a waiter at Bob's Big Boy in Toluca Lake, that really cool one.
Oh no, yeah.
And they would always sit celebrities in my section because I didn't care. I was just sort of like, you're not the guy you just said the words. You didn't think up the words. You weren't the director. Like you're
exactly.
a charismatic guy, but I'm not intimidated because I know,
Right.
But like, Glenn Keane would walk in there and I'd be like, it's Glenn Keane, like starstruck.
He did the bear fight in Fox and the Hound.
No idea, that guy's amazing.
He's the son of Bill Keane.
Big deal, right? So anyway, I show up at Maurice Noble's house and I'm like, oh my God, like this guy,
animation legend.
my child, like he's, like it's for me, it's like meeting George Lucas or something like that. I'm starstruck. And he opens the door and I'm just like, and I can't talk. And he was so gracious, but she's like, listen, I can tell you're a little overwhelmed right now.
Oh my God.
I'll just do the talking until you calm down. Because I was like, seriously, as awkward as I was when I started Fairly Odd Parents, this is even worse.
When Jace first met me, it was exactly the same way.
I'm sure it was.
You haven't met Jace yet, but Jace was the same way.
That's how I was when I got to Nickelodeon. Anyway, we start talking and we just totally hit it off. It was like his personality was exactly like the Warner Brothers cartoons. Like talking and hanging out with him was exactly like that same feeling you get, that sense of humor, the comic timing. It was exactly like a Warner Brothers cartoon. He was a warm, wonderful, generous guy. And we just really hit it off. And it was one of those things where it's like we got to talking and
his last name was truly Noble.
Indeed,
he was a noble person.
He was.
Yes.
And so next thing I know, his wife's like, guys, I made dinner. We're like, okay, yeah, we'll be there in a minute. And then she goes, guys, dinner's cold. I put it in the oven. We're like, yeah, okay. And she's like, guys, I'm going to bed. It's 11 o'clock at night. And we're like, what? And we look outside. It's pitch dark. And so I'm like, oh my, wow, like time has just gone by. Like,
wow.
And it's a magic moment for me.
Just like this podcast.
Exactly. I mean, oh my God, really, actually. And Jesus, this is great. So he says, hey, you know who's got an amazing omelet? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't live in LA. I'm thinking it's like he's going to take me some Hollywood, like Musso and Frank's or some inside Hollywood legend place. He's like, the International House of Pancakes. I'm like, great, let's go get some. I don't care. So we go, and he's telling me stories about Disney and the strike.
This at night, right?
It's 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
And they're open 24 hours. And Maurice is telling me all these great stories about Disney back like before the strike, which was like a utopia. He's like, you would pick up the phone and ask for a milkshake, and a waiter in a tuxedo would bring you a milkshake on a platter. I'm like, oh my God.
We have that here. Can you get this guy a milkshake in a tuxedo?
That's fantastic.
I swear to God, we have the speech bubble. We have everything.
I'll save it for later. I'll put it in my pocket.
I'll put it right
milkshake,
in my pocket.
Yeah, with the ramen.
So keep going. This is awesome.
So we're losing track of time, and he's telling me like he had done the pink elephant sequence in Dumbo.
Look out. Pink elephant on.
It's like the greatest sequence, and nobody knows that because the strike happened. He went out on strike. And the reason the strike happened, even though there were some people that were getting milkshakes from waiters, there were other guys who were literally passing out at their desks from malnutrition. They were buying the guy that passed out was buying day-old turnips from the fruit stand. He couldn't afford fresh turnips, so he would go after. At the end of the day, there were fruit stands all over LA.
Because they were getting paid so little.
They were getting paid so little. The bottom of the rung, the top shelf guys, Art Babbitt and the Nine Old Men, they lived in mansions. They had waiters and servants and things like that. But the guys at the bottom were making literally starvation wages.
Wow.
So that's why the strike happened. And
that's why the union stepped. That's why the union started.
Right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. And so Maurice, he was not supposed to go on strike. He was at his level. He was not required to strike, and he wasn't expected to go on strike, but he went out on strike anyway.
Right, gotcha.
And Walt loved him. He had the office directly across from Walt.
Wow.
Same size, same placement.
Walt
so same
who?
Walter Disney.
Walter
Elias
who's that?
Disney.
Is it Walter Elias Disney?
Walter Elias.
I've heard the name. We'll talk about him later.
It's an up-and-coming guy. You
I got it. Okay,
yeah,
we'll go on. Yeah.
So he had basically the same size, same location office as Disney.
Wow.
The Disney studio is shaped sort of like a rib cage, and so it's kind of hard to. It's shaped like a rib cage.
How'd you kidnap Maurice Nobles?
Okay, sorry. So like this,
I love that's the title of the podcast.
Sorry.
Disney shaped like a rib cage. I love this.
It's
no, but keep going.
Podcast gold. Sorry. So much like this podcast, we got to talking a lot, and time got away from us.
Of course.
And so the next thing we know, it is 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
And we realized we didn't tell Maurice's wife that we were going out for dinner. So I drive him back and I drop him off, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come back tomorrow?" I had a flight home that night that I had totally missed.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, "Yeah, I want to come back tomorrow." So I drove around the corner, parked, slept in the car.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. In rural Glendale, actually La Cañada, Flint Ridge area, and maybe La Crescenta. Anyway, so I wake up, I buy a toothbrush and a razor, and I'm like shaving in the bathroom, and I come back to his house, and Maurice comes out. He's like, "Hey, Dave, you might want to be a little play a little, lay a little low today around the wife." I'm like, "Why? What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, we didn't tell her we were going out to dinner, and she woke up at 2 a.m, and I wasn't there, and I don't know why, but she called the police and told them that you kidnapped me." I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" He's like, "Yeah, for about 2.5 hours, you were wanted by the Glendale police for kidnapping me." And then I realized I'm sleeping in my car, like outside of his house. Like, this looks really bad.
Oh my God.
So yeah, for a brief period of time.
So basically, you're Dave Thomas. You're an artist. You're a writer.
Hamburger maven.
Hamburger maven. You own Wendy's. You are a songwriter, a dad, a husband, and a kidnapper.
Yes.
And you're wanted by the Glendale police.
Yes.
Are they going to burst in here right now?
I
if you got here?
certainly hope so.
Speech